Zach, with expectations comes a lot of stress, comes a lot of pressure. And I think we need to talk about one of the hot stories has been around the mental side of the game. We've talked about it in Baltimore, but one of those stories that continues to come to fruition is the situation that's happened with Devin Williams and the New York Yankees and the closer spot being taken out of the role. We had John Smoltz on, Hall of Fame pitcher, and we know the talent that John Smoltz had, but what we appreciated even more was his take on the mental side of the game. So we're going to play that clip and we're going to react to it on the other side of what it kind of means to this discussion with Devin Williams. Being the superstars for whatever reasons, because they're not able to get past that human element or get out of their own head, so to speak.
Well, I think, as we look at computers, viruses can get in a computer, and if you don't get it out, computer's not going to work. And your mind works the same way. We go into slumps, and no one talks about the mental slumps that people go into that are real. And no one wanted to talk about it. I became kind of the poster child for an over-exaggerated scenario. Like no one was laying me on a couch and had a watch and was TikTok, and it was none of that. He wasn't transforming into a pitcher I never could be. It was getting me back to the pitcher I always was. And what happens in sports, and I do this in golf now all the time, I'll tell my caddy, don't ever tell me, do not tell me where not to hit it. Because your brain doesn't conceivably understand. If you say, don't hit it left, your brain thinks about left. It hit it left. It doesn't process don't. So everything that I did from that point on was a positive command on the mound. And I would work off of those mental strengths, because I was always mentally tougher than anybody in my age group, because I wanted to be. But then when you get in that slump, you figure like, what's going on? And then you start working the word don't hang a slider. Well, you're going to hang a slider. I tell my catchers, if you want the ball down, tell me bury it down. Give me a command. Don't give me, hey, don't hang this pitch. So I think a lot of those things served me well for not only pitching the 3 biggest games of my life, but what I didn't tell you is that I prepared my whole upbringing of pitching in Game 7s. I pitched a Game 7 every day outside my house with a rubber ball and a wall. I tell people all the time that I created my own palace of like, this is what it's going to be like. And I'm not into like, if, you create it, it'll always happen. But if you do not think it, you're never going to believe it. If you don't believe it, you never dream it.
So right there, the mental side, being prepared. And if you're not in a good mental state, whatever you're telling yourself or whatever added pressures you're putting into the moment that's going to impact your results, you're going to have struggles. And Zach, I'm seeing that with Devin Williams, to be honest. Devin Williams is a guy who is one of the most coveted trade pieces this offseason. The Yankees get him. And he got off to a okay start for the most part, but then after his 3 outings, he had that blow-up game against the Tigers. And then it looked like the ship was back on track, righted the ship. He had some really good outings, including consecutive saves and back-to-back-to-back outings that he went out there. The problem is that he reverted back to other ways, and then pressure started to mount. And then it mounted so much, and the results kept struggling that they removed Devin Williams from the closing role. So the reason I want to talk about this is why last night the Yankees, once again, leading late in the game, they have a comeback. Now, it wasn't just Devin Williams. Luke Weaver came in and gave up the business, and the Padres stormed back and shocked the Yankees in the Bronx. But, Zach, Devin Williams, when you look at his stuff and you're looking at all the analytics, there's nothing really that's jumping out a ton. Yes, fastball velo is a little bit down from last year, but he's still throwing the same pitches he threw last year. The percentage of how much he's thrown it is about the same. The biggest difference for me is more of that mental side. It looks like a guy that's come to New York that has had struggles, and I feel like it's become more of a mental issue for Devin Williams than anything else. And it's not the only thing with players going to New York, Zach. We have heard other players talk about being able to handle the harsher environments, and the Yankees is one of those environments without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, how many times have we talked about people not being able to perform in New York? I mean, hell, every time the Yankees make a big free agent signing, big or small, it's okay. Well, they'll be able to perform in New York because those boo birds come out fast. That we are on May 6th. Remember, just a month ago, Devin Williams was the savior of the Yankees. He was the big closer they needed. He was the missing piece. It was World Series or bust. I'm seeing tweets from Yankees reporters, content creators saying they better never see Devin Williams play again for the New York Yankees. Did you not just give up Nestor Cortez for him? Did you not give up assets to go get this guy to be that missing piece, to be that back end piece? I understand he's not doing well, but if you mentally cannot handle New York will eat you up and spit you out. This is not the city to be, getting okay, he'll figure it out. They don't care if you figure it out. They need it done now and ASAP. So I'm going to say this. I think Devin Williams is a damn good pitcher. I don't think, like you said, when you look up his metrics and everything, he's still, he's still, nothing much has changed. It's all mental. It's got to be, because you can see it on his face after games when he's sitting in dugouts. You can see it when he's on the mound. It just seems like something right now mentally he doesn't feel like he has it. And it's weird to go back and kind of see him lose that confidence, because like you said, when he started this season out, he had a decent stretch at one point where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He had 5 games in a row where he wasn't giving up runs. 6 of 7. So he started out decently, but the wheels, when they fall off, they can fall off fast. And in a place like New York, if you can't figure it out quickly, things can start to spiral because they are not going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
And for context here, for his sample size, now 3 of these 5 years, he only pitched no more than 27 innings in 2 of the years. But both those years, last year he had a 1.25 ERA, and the other year in 2020, COVID year, he had a 0.33. Those other 3 years mixed in, Zach, of the full seasons, 2.50 ERA, 1.93, 1.53. So you're looking at a guy's sample size of going, dude, he's got it.
Yep.
There's nothing that I'm seeing out there that goes, man, he lost it. But here's a quote from Aaron Boone after the game last night against the Padres, the first game or the Monday night game. Because I think the biggest thing is command and being ahead and not putting guys on. The stuff is there. The stuff's fine. And I do believe he'll get on a roll and be lights out and dominant, but it's just the command part of it, where walks or getting behind in certain situations have hurt him a little bit. So you're hearing right there, Aaron Boone is acknowledging the stuff looks good. But when your command's off, you can say it's mechanical more times than not. Yeah, it's mechanical, but it's also you're not doing what you need to do from a mental standpoint to be in that position. And then things can snowball. And think about everything that you deal with in life. When I try to put the baseball side into the everyday life, Zach, you ever gone down a rabbit hole of thoughts? One thing leads to another, and you go, how the hell did I get here? You got to battle that every single day when you play baseball, especially when you're in the big leagues, and especially when you're in New York, where you are going to be praised when you do well. And as soon as you don't, they're going to let you know. And the one phrase that I continue to go back to, Zach, what is it that Joe Torre always would say? And I say it all the time.
Long way to go.
That too. But can't measure a player's heartbeat.
That too.
Joe Torre definitely said long way to go as well.
At some point he did.
Definitely. We'll quote him on that eventually when we talk to him. But for Devin Williams and the Yankees, is it causing problems right now? Absolutely. Is it correctable? Yes.
You hope. And that's why I say you hope, because is it correctable for him as a player? Yeah. I don't know if it's in New York. That's on the unfortunate side of, how that kind of pressure that builds there is. If he gets in that rabbit hole, that's not an easy place to dig yourself out of. I mean, how many guys have we seen where, hell, Joey Gallo talks about every day, he's like, I wish I would have never went to New York. He was like, that was horrible. He was like, even when I was playing well, it's just, it's different there. You see so many guys, Aaron Hicks, guys that go there and then suddenly it's all a mental thing. They can't fully get right mentally with the pressure of it. And, some guys can, some guys can't. I think that is, but, Quick final point. I mean, yeah, he pitched 22 games last year, 21.2 innings, had a 1.25 ERA. He had 11 walks total this year, like you said, through just how many innings? 11.2, so just under half. He's got 10. So he's the walks are killing him. And if you let guys on base, it's going like last night. The walk leads to the wheels coming off, and the next thing you know, the Padres steal one.
And he's given up 13 runs this year, earned runs. He's given up 13 in the last 2 years combined.
Yeah.
I'm buying the talent, but right now, when you're not right mentally, it's hard for the talent to shine through. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here on YouTube and on X. A lot of baseball talk.